like to kick us off? All right.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the town of Orangetown. This is a regular town board meeting. This is for Tuesday, March 4th. And on roll call, Councilman Troy.
Present.
Councilman Divining.
Here.
Councilman Moore.
Here.
Councilman Valentine.
Here.
And Supervisor Stewart.
Here.
I would ask that we all stand and say the pledge.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Charlie, and thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. We are on the air. In case anybody's wondering, there are people watching from home. And to that point, one of the things that we have to work on is our microphone use. And so I just want to remind my fellow board members, I've kind of gotten used to it, but the audio doesn't come through on the TV unless your microphone is more or less like mine is right now. So the fact that people can hear you in this room means nothing for the TV audience, and it's just a reminder, and if you could just help me out with that, because I know that sometimes it's hard to remember.
Are there other times when the mics are off that we're being picked up?
These are the only microphones we have.
That's not my question. If my mic is off, is it still live at times?
If you turn yours off and mine is still on, then mine's still working. So it's possible it could pick up noise from over there, if that answers your question. If we flip this switch here, it turns all of the microphones off. So just a reminder, it helps out. The last meeting we had, there were periods when the sound didn't come through at all. So this is a regular town board meeting following on the workshop. The entire agenda has been workshopped, except I think, John, are you bringing a new business item related to the athletic place?
Yes.
Okay, so just a heads up, there'll be one item under new business, and the board may also choose to go into executive session later on. But for the time being, let's see what we got. The first one has to do with the rezoning in Pearl River. I'm sorry. Thank you. Motion to open public comment, please. Move from Divany, second from Moore. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Was there a sign-in list? Because it's not sitting here. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Mr. Mandel from Pearl River, first up tonight. For those of you who haven't been here before, we have a 3-minute clock, which provides some guidance as to appropriate length.
Okay, and
Thank you, Michael.
It's working tonight?
Yep, it's working.
Okay. Good evening, Supervisor Stewart, members of the town board. For the record, I am Michael Mandel, a resident of Pearl River. It appears that every year contributions to the New York State Employees Pension Fund continues to increase, placing a strain on the town budget and increased taxpayers' costs. The state claims it's due to market conditions. Shortfalls must be made up so that the fund is solvent. Well, then I guess New York City must be located in some other country and not New York. John Liu, controller for the City of New York, stated the following in a news release for retirees, quote, "When I took office 4 years ago, I was committed to upgrading the investment performance of the New York City pension funds by modernizing their management and reallocating assets to better absorb risks. Our work has paid off. Our pension funds together have grown 58% over the past 4 fiscal years to $144 billion. These increased returns will annually reduce the city's pension contributions over the next 7 years and ensure the retirement savings of the city workforce are on a strong footing. Let me repeat Mr. Liu's statement. The funds have grown 58% in 4 years and reduced the city's pension contributions. It's time for the town board to pass a resolution demanding an investigation by the state attorney general into the management of pension funds. Specifically, who are the managers, how much are they being paid for their poor returns, and what are their political connections? In my opinion, something is wrong when the city investments are growing by 58% and contributions will decrease over the next 7 years. In my opinion, the taxpayers are being ripped off and, in fact, robbed by whoever's managing this pension system. Who's getting the money? We're not. We're paying it as taxpayers, and the town is paying it in trying to keep the budget under the 2%. In addition, State Senator Colucci spoke about the matter on Sunday at the Palisades Community Center regarding management cost. It's time to take action and demand an investigation, and request the Senate to join us in a bipartisan manner for the good of the taxpayers as well as for the town employees who will be collecting their pensions, and not be the butt every time of you're stealing from us and a fight between us and the employees who do a good time in this town. This one last thing regarding the 4th of July fireworks, it's item number 2. That the committee, which I'm a member of, is asking for certain things. This should be made known to the people of this town and the taxpayers that the town does not contribute, the town does not pay for the fireworks. The fireworks are paid for by contributions from the public collected in front of ShopRite, from businesses in the town, and not from the town itself. So taxpayers are not paying for this except for what we request. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that, Mr. Mandel. And I appreciate your comment about the pensions. Helen Shaw.
Hi,
How you doing? Welcome.
thank you. My name is Helen Shaw. I'm from Pearl River. Good evening, and I wanted to talk to you tonight about ShopRite of Pearl River and the snow dumping they've been doing over the last couple of months. And I want to talk to you about the long-term effects of this dumping. These effects go beyond ShopRite's overnight dumping operation and the noise created by it. It goes beyond the visual impact of the 2-story piles of blackened snow that I get to see when I look out my window and drive past it several times a day. It goes beyond ShopRite, a commercial business using a residential piece of property for clearly commercial purposes. Salt has become the most effective way to de-ice roads and pavements, but it's not without its drawbacks. Most of you know that using salt shortens the life of your driveway and pathways. Families with pets are warned to keep them away from areas with salt. The effects on shrubs and trees can be disastrous also. ShopRite's residential property is surrounded on 3 sides by Pearl River High School property. The high school property on 2 sides slopes downwards towards the school property. On these slopes are groupings of at least 20 trees, and out of that number, at least 15 are mature white pines. According to Purdue University's Forestry and Natural Resources Center, white pines do not tolerate salt. If you're interested, I have copies of what I'm going to. According to Purdue University's Forestry and Natural Resources Center, white pines don't tolerate salt. In fact, damage could occur with as little as 0.3% chloride levels. ShopRite's parking lot is approximately 2 acres in size, not including their store, and their residential lot is approximately a 1/4 acre. This season alone, we have had multiple storms and several days of negative temperatures. Each time, ShopRite salted their lot. After each snow event, ShopRite plowed the fallen snow to the edges of their lot. The snow was then plowed, this snow that was plowed contained all the salt that along with other contaminants from cars and trucks that are continuously in the lot. There is also trash like plastic bags and paper garbage. This is the snow that was trucked from the parking lot to their residential lot. The piles stand almost 2 stories high, and they will slowly melt as the weather warms. The contaminants will not disappear, but will be absorbed into the soil, and the absorption will not stop at the property line. It will continue onto the neighboring high school property. Can I continue?
go ahead and finish.
Okay. There is no doubt that the soil contamination will reach the root systems of the white pines that sit on the high school property. Mature white pines can have roots that reach 30 to 40 feet from their trunks. This puts the majority of the pines on the high school property only a few feet from these contaminated piles of snow, and ultimately putting them at risk. While this is not the first year that ShopRite has dumped snow on the residential property, it is by far the largest amount they have dumped. The series of snowstorms we got this year are part of a pattern of extreme weather that does not show signs of stopping. That means we could have years like this more often, and ShopRite will be looking to remove it from the lot in the most cost-effective way. The most cost-effective way appears to be dumping it on this residential property. The only problem is the long-term effects of this dumping go beyond the contamination of their own property. While ShopRite has benefited from the convenience of having a low-cost dumping site for its snow, the high school bears the risk of this dumping with none of the reward. The consequences of any damage to these trees will be borne by the school district students, administration, taxpayers, and area residents who were not consulted in the decision to allow this dumping to occur. As an area resident, parent of a child attending the high school, and taxpayer, I'm asking you to prohibit any and all dumping at this site. Please make ShopRite treat this property as the residential property it is. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very well spoken. I know there's been some concern in the community, and the building department has been looking at it. And there's obviously an extreme snow situation this year, which has exacerbated the issue. So I think the best thing to do is to find out from our building department, where exactly they want to go with that. Just a question for you: have you spoken with the school about it, or yeah?
I notified them, they have a copy of the article I
Letter.
gave you. Only problem is our superintendent is leaving
Right.
the district and is otherwise looking to pass the problems on to the new, and Common Core has kind of dominated.
I'm sure they have a lot on their plate for sure. I'm sure they appreciate you also, looking out for the trees. So my commitment is to follow up and find out what the best resolution to it is. Probably looking forward to next year, because presumably the pile is there to stay. Just going on to the next speaker, Mr. Shaw.
I just wanted to include a picture of the dumping.
Okay.
I didn't have the foresight to write anything out, but I wanted you to understand, while we're bothered by all that dumping, it's, we've had 4 very bad snowstorms, and I like to shop at ShopRite, although I can walk there, I don't have to drive there, so I don't worry about the snow. We didn't complain the first 2 or 3 nights, but the third night that they did it started at 9 o'clock, which it usually does, 9:30, when the store closes, and it went till 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're not talking about a little Ford F-150 with a snow blade that does your driveway. This is a huge Caterpillar yellow dump truck, front loader, scraping, banging down, dumping it into the thing. Then that guy comes down the highway, the road, and then he backs up, beep, 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 he dumps, he bangs. So, something needs to be done. What I don't understand is how a residential lot can accept waste. And that's what it is with the salt, it's waste. But I don't understand how they can accept dumping. And I'm told, I called the code enforcement, and they said, there's nothing in the code that says they can't dump. Well, we need a little common sense here. It's a residential lot, okay? You should need permission to do that. And what I'm told is the town attorney, at some point in the past, has given them permission, okay?
That may or may not be true.
Okay, but, we were here a couple of times. We were here when they wanted to do, they wanted to modify. When we moved in 10 years ago, there was a house there, which, by the way, they let be a practice firehouse, which sat burned out for almost a year. And, you know, it's ridiculous. I'm sure that they've grieved their taxes and say that it's an empty lot. Well, somebody allowed them to widen the curb with the express, I'm sure, that they thought they would dump. And I don't get it. So, you know, I called the police. The police came at 11:30 that night, and they shut them down. And then I know the next day, Mr. Divany was nice enough to answer a couple of my emails, and he says he's working on it. But I just... Right. But, you know, when is the noise ordinance? 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you know? 11, but yeah, I just can't see how you can do things, you know? So, you know, I just want to get everybody in one room, so to speak, and say, can a lot accept waste or dumps? If they've already turned their lot into, or grieved their taxes and said it's an empty lot, well, if it's saving them how much money for dumping, I don't know, $5,000, pick a number. What's it cost to dump waste? $5,000 each time? You know, then that thing's acting as a commercial enterprise and should be paying higher taxes. Thanks.
You've made the argument very well, and I know that the board has listened and has worked this issue a bit, and it's unresolved at this point. Mary Cardenas?
Good evening. I'm Mary Cardenas. I'm the town historian, and I'm here this evening to apprise the councilman over here that a demolition permit has been applied for to demolish the Lent House. The Lent House is a sandstone house that's behind Stop and Shop. My question to you is, when Stop and Shop was going in and those hotels were going in, I went to the planning board meetings and I pointed out to the folks over there that this was an old house. It wasn't the prettiest thing or the most attractive parcel of land, and I was assured that nothing would happen to the house. My question is, why the change? What's happening here? And I'd like an answer. Thanks.
Thank you, Mary. I know we talked about that this afternoon, too. So we can certainly find out more about that permit and application. Eileen?
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you, Supervisor Stewart, for coming on Sunday to our Palisades Community Center annual meeting, and also Senator David Carlucci. Unfortunately, Country Exec Ed Day could not make it. But you did hear our comments about the Oak Tree Road sidewalk. It's 7 years since we requested that sidewalk to be built out. 2 people have died since then. Many, many near misses occur on that road, especially when it gets dark early in the day. Tonight, I drove from 9W. I went over to 9W and came across Oak Tree Road to 340 just to check out the darkness of the road, and this is what I found. One, there is no safe walking area at this moment along Oak Tree Road coming from 9W towards the center. The snow has covered, you know, you have the white line and then you can walk the street, the white line, you can walk in here. It's just covered with snow. There is one street light from 9W to the PCC. There are 2 street lights out near the Esplanade. There is very few poor lighting on Oak Tree Road. The need for this sidewalk is urgent. We are not going to wait another 7 years to get this sidewalk installed. I'm asking either one or all of you to walk with me and maybe Carol one evening along Oak Tree Road and see the conditions of that, the safety. There is no safe. The other night I was going to a house in the Landing, and all of a sudden there was a man near me, and there was a lady behind him with the flashlight, and I saw her and I did see him. This project, from what I understand, Supervisor Stewart, is on the works, and you will be meeting with the committee from Palisades with Jimmy Dean and maybe the engineering department and the state DOT. Senator Carlucci is aware of all of this, and he is in agreement with the urgency of this, and he said he would contact the DOT
to get this going forward. It's 7 years. And when people saw that Pearl River is on target to get sidewalks, it said, well, we're 7 years. And I think you made the comment that that project could take another 4 years.
Of course.
Well, it shouldn't. And you know what? With what is happening in government between Cuomo and Christie with the bridge tolls on the bridge and how they concerted effort to increase the tolls to benefit the unions, contractors, it's all coming out in the papers now. We can't believe our elected officials. Why has it taken 7 years to build one sidewalk from Oak Tree Road to 9W? It's a sidewalk. That's all it is. And also, if I beg you to let me speak a few minutes,
No,
just
go
like
ahead
you
and
did the
finish up.
lady before me. Thank you
And
very
when you're
much.
done,
Yes,
Stefan,
thank you
maybe you
very
could give
much.
us a little
There is
update
no
on the sidewalk.
impartiality here, to me especially, from now on.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Eileen.
making a comment about Senator Carlucci's comment about the state benefit that people pay into and the amount of money that is being paid to those people who are supposedly the stockbrokers. They are taking millions and millions of dollars to handle these funds, and they are not producing a positive but a negative effect. And this should be looked into by everybody who's a taxpayer here in Orangetown. And everybody call up Cuomo and ask him why they gave us a phony toll bridge hike over the George Washington Bridge, which will never be improved because it's impossibly to do it at that toll gate. Thank you.
Thank you. You covered a number of issues, and I did appreciate being at that meeting. Stefan, would you mind just saying a word or two about the status of the Oak Tree Road sidewalk? We don't have to get into it because I know you didn't come prepared to make a presentation. But what's the plan for this summer?
Hold on, you should be doing it up here with the microphone.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Remember that, yeah. If we don't get to the microphone, then the audio won't be.
Joe Moran can attest to this. We had a meeting last week with the engineers, the highway department and the engineering department, and we reviewed the latest plans as far as putting in the sidewalk. We would like to go out to bid sooner than later, probably within the next month or so. We do have a couple of items that we wish to address now that the design is made for the sidewalks. There are notes in the design that show that there's going to be interference with the traffic signal, and the traffic signal is the state's traffic signal on a state road. So we are currently getting the cost to have some relocations of the loops done. So there is one final step in the process, and then we hope to go out, put the bid documents out.
Realistically, when do you think there'll be a sidewalk there?
Within this construction season, hoping to, I don't want to, Joe, this next construction season, April, we'd like to start construction April, May.
So by the fall, there'll be a sidewalk?
Yes,
So that's what you think?
that's what I
Stefan,
think.
the town did its end?
Yeah.
Because the town had something, I'm sorry, Dennis, the town had to straighten the road out or something first.
Worked
right?
on
We did
drainage too,
already?
right?
Right, there was drainage, there's some road
So there has been progress made. on it.
alignment. There has been progress, yes. I'm sorry,
Going
Joe?
back to the
Yeah.
question though, nothing happens fast. Going back to Pearl River getting everything, according to the earlier speaker.
I didn't say that.
Several people were killed on Middletown Road. It's been an issue since I was on the legislature back in 96, 97, 98, to get new sidewalks there, to get lights there, traffic lights there. It's the same story. There's not enough money to do all these things. As far as this town board passed that 2 years ago to pay for the sidewalks. I don't need to walk Oak Tree Road. I was there right after the young man got killed on 9W, walking Oak Tree Road. That's why I supported, and the other rest of the board here supported putting that sidewalk in. We have Esther Bateman, who comes in here regularly, asks us where her sidewalk is on Route 340. When you're dealing with state funding, things take time, all right? And there's different issues. We had easements that had to be done on 340, all right? That's why I'm asking here for a realistic assessment of when that sidewalk will begin. I don't want Mrs. Larkin here in the spring of 2015 sing the same tune.
No, I don't either. And actually, once again, like 340, there were easements involved, construction easements and permanent easements with the Palisade sidewalk, which were completed toward the end of last summer. So that's where it's been hung up. And then there's some minor alterations to the plan. Joe, do you want to speak to that?
It's just not a matter of the highway department going out and putting a sidewalk there. It's not, so just take time.
Well,
But nighttime is it's a different feeling when you walk at nighttime as opposed to the daytime, Dennis. That's the danger.
The plans and the contract documents are complete.
Sorry, say that again.
The plans and the contract documents are complete now.
Which means that it'll go to bid shortly. And once the bid is accepted, sometime in the next month or so, you'll have a contractor.
There is one easement which the highway department is going to meet with the owner because she wants to, before she signs the construction easement, just review how her family is going to be protected during construction. Because she has a fence there currently, and right now there's snow on the ground, so we want to have a field meeting with her, and we're going to review how the highway department is going to work with her to put in a temporary fence to protect her family and her dog, and that has, the documents and the plans, like Joe said, are complete, but we do have to have that final construction easement signed. And once we make her feel comfortable, which she's amenable to the project, she just wants to know what our plan is.
So a single homeowner
So a single homeowner.
has the power to hold the whole process up by, if they don't agree with the easement or something like that, basically.
Yeah,
So
basically.
I'm-
Sidewalk goes out around the
Right.
back.
They recently purchased.
I hope that
Yes, they
clarifies it a little bit.
This wasn't anticipated because this is a new homeowner. They recently purchased a home. There was an agreement with the previous homeowner, and now we need a new agreement with the easement issue.
Some of the Palisades community ought to talk to that homeowner.
No, they, like we said, they are amenable, they just need to go through the project with us, and we're going to present, yeah.
It's virtually guaranteed that you're going to be cutting a ribbon on that sidewalk this year, Mrs. Larkin.
God willing. From your mouth to God's ears.
Are there any other, for public comment by show of hands? That's it for our list. I have a motion to close public comment for Dennis Troy. I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye, the ayes have it.
I have one comment on Mr. Mandel's talking about John Lou.
Go ahead.
John Lou told me today is Tuesday. I checked, but he's saying that it went up 58%. Now, I don't know when he took it from when to when. And again, I don't know the exact numbers in terms of where the stock market was back 4 years ago and to where it is now. We're at 16,000 now with the stock market. At its lowest, I don't know, it was 900 and something.
Didn't go down that far.
Well, maybe it was, but say it was 10,000, all right? You're going up 58% to get to, no, more than 58% to get to 16,000. He's going to pat himself on the back. But in terms of New York State, and I've said this before, New York State, Mr. DiNapoli does the same thing. As each municipality keeps throwing money at the state pension fund, and then Mr. DiNapoli then says, gee, I'm doing a great job on the state pension system. And I still contend that Senator Carlucci and our assembly people ought to be looking at pension contributions where people only pay in for 10 years. It is dead wrong. The taxpayers are picking up the bulk of that, and people should be paying in for the entire time they're working. So that was changed in 1999 and has not been adjusted through the economic crisis. So
So Mr. Napoli's office states that they can't be checked out 4 years, 5 years, or 6 years as to the pension contributions, yet the city can. And this is not only from the city, that this statement was made by Lou, it was also made by the Captain's Endowment Association for their pension part of the funds, and lieutenants all stating that it had gone up dramatically. Even the annuity funds had gone up double digits over the last 4 years. So the state should be doing the same. If they're not, then who are they hiring?
it's still,
That's the question.
people play games with numbers.
Money comes in.
Any other comments from members of the board on issues raised? Okay. Thank you. The first item on our agenda is the acceptance of petition for a zone change and the circulation of that petition where it needs to go. And there's a series of whereases nicely put together. This has to do with the Eigner family and the neighboring properties and the line between the commercial and the residential zone being shifted a bit.
I'll move that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, so what we just did there is declared our intention to serve as lead agency for SECRA and send this out to Rockland County Planning Department, the County Highway Department. Just making sure we're covering all our bases here, and getting input and so on and so forth. Response within 30 days. All right, thank you very much. Number 2 is for aid to fireworks in Pearl River with the Parks and Activity Committee obviously paying for them, as Mr. Mandel pointed out, but the town providing support in terms of sanitation and so on. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second? Second from Moore. All in favor say aye. 3 and 4 have to do with appointing firefighters to the Blauvelt Fire Company. The first one, resolved that upon the recommendation of Blauvelt Fire Department, Joseph De Leonardis hereby appointed position of active interior firefighter with the Blauvelt Fire Company. And we may as well do them both together. And the second one, same recommendation, but for Ryan M. Tercey, also active interior firefighter with the Blauvelt Fire Company, to be sworn in by Charlie Madigan, town clerk, within the next 30 days. Can I have a motion for these two resolutions together, please? From Valentine, we have a second over here. Moore, all in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. A couple items from the town attorney. Quit claim deed from All County Property on Old School Lane in Orangeburg. This is an accept and receive of a document. Can I have a motion for this, please? Over here from Troy, second from Moore. All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. More or less the same story for Manhattan Woods subdivision. These have been reviewed last week, so I'm not going to dwell on them unless anybody has a question. I'll make a motion for acceptance. Can I have a second? Valentine, all in favor say aye. The same goes for the certificates of registration for sewer work. The companies need to get recertified every year. There's 8 of them here, fairly recognizable company names. Can I have a motion for acceptance of this resolution? Over here, Valentine. Who wants to second it? Second from Troy. All in favor say aye. Then we get into bond resolutions. There's one for highway, and each one has several resolutions associated with it. There's one for parks. Back to highway. Highway. And the bond process is somewhat involved, so I'm just going to go through step by step to make sure we cover all our bases. And ultimately, there's public hearings, so on and so forth. Okay, so number 8 is on the bond resolution for equipment for construction and maintenance purposes. This is where the town board declares itself lead agency under State Environmental Quality Review Act. Can I have a motion for that, please? For lead agency from Moore. Second over here. Do you have any? All in favor say aye. So we're now lead agency for any environmental impacts related to the bond. Item number 9 is a negative declaration under SECRA for this bond. The point being that taking out the bond does not have a negative environmental impact. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second? Second for Moore. All in favor say aye. Say it again. And I think it was just myself and then Tom Moore. I'll slow down a little bit. It's just a reminder, bonds require 2/3 of the total voting strength of the board to pass, which in our case is 4 out of 5, because 3 out of 5 is slightly less than 2/3. So the next one is, be it resolved by the affirmative vote of not less than 2/3 of the total voting strength of the town board as follows. I don't think I should read the whole thing. It's about $1.7 million, and it's for highway equipment. John, is there any particular part of this that you want read into public record in some way, or?
This approves the purchase of equipment for construction maintenance purposes and the issuance of bonds in the sum of $1.715 million, and it's subject to municipal referendum, and it requires a
Um,
1.775.
I have 1.715 here.
The resolution I have, you have 1.775.
Move to amend it to 1.775 is correct.
We have a motion for amendment of the resolution to the correct amount, which is 1.775. 000. Second for more. All in favor, say aye. Just a reminder, John, when you're speaking, you're one of the least microphone-using folks up here. You sometimes say the most important stuff, so. Having heard all of that and amended, take a motion for passage of this resolution. Do we amend it as, do we pass it as amended before, or haven't we passed it yet? Okay. So could I have a motion for passing the amended resolution, please?
So moved.
From Troy, second from Moore. All in favor, say.
A bond, it should be voice vote. They'll say yes.
We'll
Tom,
do-
you say.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you very much for that. Number 11, this is town board declaring itself lead agency for a bond for the Parks Department, a maintenance garage for equipment, to keep it out of the rain. $450,000. I'll make a motion for lead agency on this. Can I have a second?
Second.
Over here, Moore, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the town is now lead agency. Number 12 is a resolution to declare this action under SECRA to be
Moved.
of no environmental significance, a negative declaration. Motion from Moore, second from Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 13 is the actual approval of the bond for $450,000, and so on and so forth, with all the proper notices sent around by the town clerk. Can I have a motion for this one, please?
Yeah, I'll move it, just stating the fact that it is also subject to permissive referendum.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
So,
Roll roll call again.
Do you want to do a roll call vote on each of the bonds? Even the little one? Okay. Could you?
Wait a second.
I did.
So yes,
Councilman Troy,
yes.
Supervisor Stewart,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilman Dipney,
Yes.
and Councilman Valentine.
Yes.
Number 14, thank you, Charlie. Lead agency on bonding for the remaining cost of the bridge in Tapan. Can I have a motion for this, please? For town to be lead agency under SECRA? Move from Divany, second from myself. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 15 is negative declaration under SECRA of the environmental impact of this bond. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second? Divany, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 16 is the bond itself, subject to permissive referendum by roll call vote. Charlie, could you do the honors, please?
So we make a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so.
Councilman Troy,
Yes. Yes.
Supervisor Stewart,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilman Divany,
Yes.
and Councilman Valentine.
Yes.
Thank you, Charlie. Number 17 is another lead agency on improvement projects, $72,000. Can I make a motion under secret for lead agency? Have a second? For more, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Negative declaration. Someone like to make a motion on that? We got it from Valentine, second from Divany. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, Charlie? And number 19 is the bond itself. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
So moved from Troy.
Second.
Second from Moore. A roll call vote, please.
Councilman Troy,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilman Divany,
Yes.
Councilman Valentine,
Yes.
and Supervisor Stewart.
Yes. All right. Now, this one, number 20, is setting a public hearing relating to the increase and improvement of facilities at the sewer district. Let's see what the date is. This is for, now, can I ask you a question? Why do we set a hearing on this one but not on all the others?
Because this relates to the district as opposed to
Okay.
simply financing.
So we're doing a hearing because it's a district and not just financing.
Because when the district was established, you had to, the board had to set the estimated cost at the time, and you're changing that.
Moved.
We have a motion for a hearing on March 25th at 8:10 PM.
I'll second
Second from Troy. All in favor say aye.
it.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. Number 21 is Highway Department authorized to host the American Public Works Association Annual Equipment Show, Wednesday, May 21st, from 10 until 3.
Moved.
Move from Moore.
Second.
Second for Troy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Number 22, sorry. What was that? Number 22 is support for a community event, which is the Tappan Zee High School cross-country 5-kilometer race on March 22nd. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second for Moore. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I just got a quick question. The 25th, do we have a meeting canceled during March?
Yes.
Yes.
Another public hearing.
No, because that would have been the 15th.
Number 23, this is ratifying a decision from last week, which is the Penguin Plunge and the Showmobile. I'll make a motion for that, while confessing that I did not jump in, but it was a great event, and they raised a lot of money, which was wonderful. I think 140 people jumped in. We have a second from Valentine. All in favor say aye. If you want to see a big pile of snow, go to Memorial Park in Nyack. Number 24, this is the Showmobile for Pearl River Day on October 4th. That's planning ahead. Somebody want to make a motion for this one? From Divany? Have a second? Troy? All in favor say aye. Put that in your calendars. Number 25, this is a contract with Wheelabrator for the police to dispose of special waste. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second? Second from Divany. All in favor say aye. 26, granting permission our town clerk to go to conference. Can I have a motion for that? Troy, second. Moore, all in favor say aye. Off she goes. Justice Court Audit Report, receive and file. Need a motion for that, please. Move from Divany, second from Moore. All in favor, say aye. Number 28 is upon the recommendation of Rockland County Personnel and Human Resources Coordinator, putting Andrew Aniello as appointed to the position of Justice Court Attendant, part-time, permanent, effective March 5th.
So moved.
From Troy, second over here. Valentine, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 29, set a public hearing for technical amendment to the flood law. That public hearing is on March 25th at 8:05 PM. This is an amendment because the state, which provided the text for the law, later informed us that it was missing something, which is a definition of the word violation.
So moved.
So thank you, Dennis. Can I have a second over here? More?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. So
Aye.
that's going to be a pretty quick public hearing. Number 30, this is a receive and file of a list of 5 documents, management agreement, and minutes, report on the sewer system, and so on. Can I make a motion for that? Divany, I have a second over here. More. Troy, all in favor, say aye. All right, that takes care of that. Now, John, there was a new business item, and I'm not sure. Do you have a copy of it?
No.
Okay.
The board previously directed the circulation for seeker and general municipal law review, a proposed text amendment adding the individual fitness and training centers as a conditional use in the LIO zone. We're awaiting a response from the outside agencies. The owner has expressed some concern over moving the item forward, and I think it would be appropriate, if you wish, to set a public hearing on the proposed text amendment. You could do it on March 25th. You may not be in a position to vote on that date, but you can do the hearing, and then when we have all of the responses back, or you can do the hearing on April 22nd, I think is the next. So, all we're requesting is that you set a public hearing on the proposed amendment.
Is the public hearing time sensitive at all? Like, do you have to then vote on it within a certain amount of time
No.
after the hearing? No?
No.
I'll move that.
That will be 4 public hearings that night, which is fine.
Well, the one, as Andy said, will be shorter than quick. The violation, the other one is on what, the vehicle and
The
traffic
Eichner.
amendment?
Traffic amendment, one for the sewer, and, what was the other one?
The Eichner zone change, is that night?
Yeah, rezone. More the merrier.
So Eichner, the traffic law, the sewer bond, and the Peter Skay application.
I move it for the 25th.
All-
Make that like at 8:20.
I think we got 8:05, 8:10, 8:20. Should be fine.
Roughly speaking, we make it 8:20.
Sounds good. All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. All right, that's it for new business. We do have an audit. Thanks, Jeff. There's the salt bill coming due. In case anybody was wondering if this winter is costing a little extra.
Okay, we have, in today's audit, we have 4 warrants. The first warrant is for the Applied Golf. The first 2 payments for February and March, totaling $116,000. As we always have to do, we're going to have to transfer money from the general fund as a loan to Broad Acres prior till it's paid, because they're obviously not operating right now and generating revenues. But this is what we have to do with Blue Hill as well. The second warrant totals $10,000 for the Memorial Day services, which was included in the budget. The third warrant represents utility payments for $80,000. And the fourth warrant is for 231 vouchers totaling $1.468 million. Obviously, there's a number of items on there. Number one, salt purchases of $248,000. Number four, recycling contract for $97,000. Number six, CSEA dental premiums, $26,000. Number seven, ESC environmental, $28,000 for environmental or odor control. Number 19, $650,000 for health insurance premiums for civil service employees. $74,000, number 20, for our audit expenses. And number 23 was $25,000 for fuel expenses. There's other items there that you can see, but those are the big items.
When is O'Connor Davies coming in for the audit, to go over the audit?
Oh, they already did. They are
No,
finished.
meeting with the board.
Presentation to the board.
It'll be in March sometime.
I have a silly question. When the highway department is moving snow, and they do a great job, on overtime, we have to buy them meals?
That has been the historical precedence.
It's in the contract, right? Yeah, that's
See,
part of the
that's
CSEA.
Until after a certain number of hours. Maybe you should do that for Valentine Electric.
Yeah, maybe I should start buying them dinner.
No, put pepperoni on the pizza, that's the plan, right? It is contractual.
That was my question, Dennis, and that was a good answer.
And also just recognizing what Mr. Brennan said is it also makes it possible for people to eat and keep on going. I think that's the logic behind it.
It's different, because when my guys work overtime, they buy their own dinner, and then they go back to work.
Right.
One of the reasons we did that, they want the guys to leave, then come back, and then have a lag in time, so we decided to keep them there so they can rest, eat, and be ready to go back to work.
All right, thanks for clarifying that. Appreciate it. Any other questions or comments about things popping up on the audit here that require extra explanation?
How are we doing fuel-wise, the heating bills, et cetera? I mean, it's been a very cold winter.
I don't have a direct answer for you, but I'm sure we're over for what we normally are just because the temperatures obviously have been much colder than we've experienced in many years. So we cut the budget for a lot of those items for for this year. So that's going to be tight.
I had also asked for quarterly reports, where we are versus the budget. We'll get that at the end of March.
Well, March 11th, when we do the finance meeting, I'll have all of the updates for you at that point. It won't strictly be quarterly, but it'll be where we're at currently.
But I still want to see them quarterly.
Okay.
All right, hearing no further questions, I have a motion from Councilman Divany to authorize the Finance Office to pay vouchers in the listed funds in the amount of $1,674,931.31. Can I have a second on that motion? Second from Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right. Now, I wanted to propose the executive session because we did finally get a revised version of our memorandum of understanding back from Empire State Development regarding our kind of ongoing negotiation over how to approach the question of appraisals and whatnot as that property is redeveloped. The state has land and we have land, and we've been negotiating over what the value is and how to calculate that. It involves legal counsel, and for that reason, I'd like to make a motion that we have executive session with the understanding that we won't be back to conduct any town business on this topic.
Before we go into exec session, I was up in Albany this weekend for the New York State Wrestling Championships. We had 3 residents from Orangetown up there. Mike Manning from Tappan Zee actually came in he took second place, lost in the finals. John Harnett took 5th at 220, and John Muldoon took 5th at 132. And I think we should get them in here to honor them a little bit later.
It's a great accomplishment.
They did
It's a
great.
good idea.
The coaches that were from TZ and Pearl River did a great job, and really proud of those guys. They fought hard and they represented Orangetown well.
Tom, if you're gonna talk to the athletic director at TZ High School, Liam Frawley, who was just on it, by the way. He was just in the Journal News the other day. But I think it's Erica Jasko. I don't even know if that's, what's her last name? Erin Jasko. All right, who is a state champion in the 1,000 also. So you bring them all at the same time.
Yeah. This March 25th is going to be a big night in Town Hall. Adjourning in memory of Patty Dorsey and Margaret Freeman. And Eileen Cassidy. We have a motion for executive session from Divney. Second over here from Moore. All in favor say aye. The ayes have it. Thanks for coming out. Sound is turned off.